Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are setting the stage for what's shaping up to be one of the most highly anticipated sporting events in history. I'm talking about the July 19th final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, right at the massive MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the absolute culmination of a monumental tournament. And we're going to break down exactly how we got here, dive into some of the controversies surrounding the whole spectacle, and lay out the tactical battle lines drawn for this epic clash. So let's get right into it. Are you ready to witness history being made? Because the historical stakes here are they're absolutely massive. On one side, you have Spain, your Euro 2024 winners, who have just marched their way to this final. And on the flip side, we have Argentina, the defending 2022 World Cup champions and the 2024 Copa America winners. Think about this. This match marks the very first time in history that two reigning continental champions will ever meet in a World Cup final. Oh, and it's also the first final since FIFA ranking started in 1992 to feature the literal number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the world facing off. Now, what's really fascinating here boils down to a single number, and that number is 4. If Argentina pulls this off and wins, they become the first international team to win 4 straight major tournaments. I mean, they already have the 2021 Copa America, the 2022 World Cup, and the 2024 Copa America completely locked down. So they're looking to cement a genuinely unprecedented legacy on the global stage. We're talking about potentially being the first team to win consecutive World Cup titles since Brazil did it way back in 1962. It's wild. But to get their hands on that historic 4th trophy, they have to get past Spain. And that gives us the core narrative of our explainer today, the ultimate clash of styles. As you'll see, this final pits Spain's ironclad, incredibly structured defense directly against an Argentinian squad that has basically survived on this dramatic, chaotic, comeback-fueled run. It is pure structure going head-to-head with sheer will. Section 1. MetLife and the spectacle. During the tournament, FIFA officially calls the venue New York, New Jersey Stadium. But whatever you want to call it, this final is designed to be just as much a global entertainment spectacle as it is a sporting event. The closing ceremony alone is packed with a star-studded lineup. We're talking Post Malone, Nicole Scherzinger, and even Tom Cruise is making an appearance. But the real jaw-dropper? The halftime show. For the first time ever in a World Cup final, we're getting an 11-minute Super Bowl-style halftime show curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin. It's got Madonna, Shakira, BTS, and Justin Bieber. Produced alongside Global Citizen, this massive performance actually aims to raise $100 million for their education fund. However, as you might expect, not everyone is totally on board with this. A quote from our source material really captures the ongoing debate: an unwanted Americanization of the match. Basically, a lot of traditional football fans and commentators feel the halftime show is getting overly commercialized. The halftime break is expected to stretch way past the usual 15 minutes, to upwards of 20 minutes just to accommodate the massive stage and all these performances. And critics are arguing this distracts from the sport itself, and honestly disrupts the flow of the game for the players. And all that glitz and glamour on the stage contrasts pretty sharply with some harsh on-field realities. Since MetLife Stadium normally uses artificial turf, a temporary Bermuda grass pitch actually had to be sourced from North Carolina and laid down back in May. But it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing. The surface has faced quite a bit of criticism from both players and the media, who have repeatedly pointed out that the pitch seems way too dry and even has some visible worn patches. Beyond just the grass, the logistical reality of simply attending this spectacle has been pretty tough on the wallet. Take the number 98. $98. That is the cost for a single round-trip ticket on the NJ Transit Meadowlands rail line just to get to the stadium. Now, originally, to offset the $48 million cost of event service and security that FIFA wouldn't subsidize, these transit tickets were announced at a staggering $150. Sponsorships eventually brought it down to $98, but it really highlights the massively expensive reality of moving tens of thousands of fans into an event of this scale. Section 2. Spain, the defensive juggernaut. All right, let's shift our focus back to the actual football and see exactly how these two heavyweights made it to New Jersey. Spain's path through the knockout stages has been incredibly clinical. Under head coach Luis de la Fuente, they've been just dominant. And honestly, completely drama-free. They dispatched Austria 3-0 in the round of 32. Then, against a tough Portugal in the round of 16, they secured a tight 1-0 win thanks to a stoppage time goal from Mikel Merino. They took down Belgium 2-1 in the quarters, and then this is the impressive part, they completely shut down a French team that had scored 16 goals in their previous matches, winning that semifinal 2-0. And the craziest part, Spain won every single one of these matches in regular time, no extra time needed. So, the crucial takeaway here is this single number, 1. Spain's defense, which is expertly anchored by midfielder Rodri, has conceded exactly 1 goal across the entire knockout stage. Just 1. And that was against Belgium. They have been an absolute brick wall, effortlessly withstanding massive pressure and then exploiting openings with just ruthless clinical precision. Section 3, Argentina, the comeback kings. Now, looking at Argentina's knockout journey, it's pretty much the exact opposite of Spain's. It's been a chaotic, exhausting ride that heavily relied on late-game heroics. Out of these 4 matches, 2 went all the way to extra time, and literally all 4 required late, incredibly dramatic goals. Against Cape Verde, they needed a 111th-minute corner from Messi to scrape a 3-2 win. Against Switzerland, it was deadlocked until extra time when Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez finally broke through. And in that wildly tense semifinal against England, Enzo Fernandez tied the game in the 85th minute, only for Lautaro Martinez to head in a 92nd-minute stoppage time winner. But I gotta say, the absolute wildest moment of their entire run has to be the round of 16 match against Egypt. Argentina somehow found themselves down 0-2 deep into the second half. Things were looking incredibly bleak, but then they rallied to score in the 79th minute, Messi tied it up in the 83rd, and Enzo Fernandez buried the winner in stoppage time to complete a 3-2 victory. They have proven time and time again in this tournament that no matter the deficit and no matter how totally exhausted they look, they are never, ever truly out of a match. Section 4, the tactical showdown. This finally brings us to the match itself, and how these wildly contrasting styles are actually going to clash on the pitch. According to our source material, there is one crucial tactical insight for this final. Argentina simply must attack the spaces behind Spain's adventurous fullbacks. That is the ultimate key to breaking down a Spanish defensive line that, again, has only conceded a single goal in the knockouts. To break that down a bit further, fullbacks are those wide defensive players on the edges of the field. Spain relies heavily on attacking wingbacks, like Pedro Porro, who push very far forward up the pitch to help the Spanish offense. Now, while this creates a super potent attack for Spain, it inherently leaves a pocket of really vulnerable space right behind them. So the strategy for Lionel Messi and Argentina is going to be launching rapid counterattacks directly into those exact spaces whenever Spain's fullbacks get caught too far up the field. That is what's going to give Argentina the openings they desperately need to execute their signature comeback style of play. And when they do step onto the pitch to execute these tactics, they're going to be kicking around a special edition Adidas Trianda Final Match Ball. While it's technically the exact same ball they've been using throughout the tournament in terms of tech, this specific version features a unique gold, black, and red color scheme. It even has the host city's names printed right on it, which is a pretty cool touch, marking it as only the 6th special ball ever created specifically for a FIFA World Cup final match. So it all comes down to this. Will Spain's flawless, impenetrable defense secure them yet another World Cup trophy? Or will Argentina's chaotic, never-say-die comeback magic earn them a historic, record-breaking 4th straight major title? The stage is officially set at MetLife Stadium, and history is ready to be written. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and enjoy the final.